fans are up. Pull up a chair, sit back, and finish off the weekend in style. Play is being backed up by good goaltending in the form of Peter McGlynn. Starting tonight, he is responsible for 26 of his team's 37 victories this year. And his counterpart at the other net, Jeff Wilson. You talk about outstanding. What a year this guy is having. To go with that, nice goals against average. He has 3 shutouts. There, look at the referees. The referee and 2 linesmen. And we are set to face it off. Blaine Angus, Ontario Hockey League veteran. And Bob McKenzie's brother is in the crowd.
That must be Doug then. Should be a good one tonight, Paul. The fans are pumped up. We've got Ottawa's offense against Kingston's defense. A great matchup to watch all night long.
Like I said a few minutes ago, pull up a chair, sit down, and finish off the weekend in style. We've got a great hockey game for you to close things out. Puck cleared down into the Kingston Frontenacs zone. Kingston in the white, Ottawa in the traditional barber pole uniforms. The black, red, and white stripes. Yanni Aledo clearing it in off the glass. Sagan along the boards, number 10, trying to get it loose. He's Ottawa's leading scorer. Puck coming towards the front for Ryan Kuwabera, and here comes Mark Major back across center for Kingston. Scoops it in. Matt Giesebrecht, number 8, up there to forecheck, can't keep it in. Kuwabera out at center for Brett Sagan. Knocked away from him. Kuwabera gets it in over the blue line. McKillop picking it up for Kingston, drops it off. Dave Stewart. Lead pass for McKillop, just missed him. John Nelson picks it up, trying to dump it across for McKillop. There's the pass, rolling just off of the stick of Wayne Doucette, number 23. Well, Larry Mavety, veteran coach of the Kingston Frontenacs, pleasantly surprised by the way his team has performed this year. We talked to him before the game a little bit about that.
Well, I think basically to start with, it's the way the fans have come out and supported us and been behind us. And, you know, the kids after coming off last year and not making the playoffs, they came out to prove a point. You know, last year they didn't know whether they were going to be here or move. And I think, you know, all over with the kids and the fans and the new ownership and everything else, it's just made a world of difference.
A strong candidate for Ontario Hockey League Coach of the Year.
In his 9th season, a fixture in this league. A real character, too.
He's got some great stories. I asked him for some great stories to tell. He said, well, none that you can use on the air.
He's got the great voice, too. One of the great voices in junior hockey. He'll go way low to get that one. Real gravel-throated voice.
I can think of about a gazillion broadcasters who'd love to have that set of vocal cords. Puck scooped out to center. Brock Woods back at his own end. Long pass up the middle. East leaving it there for Peter Ambrosiak. Woods up to knock it down. Bodnarchuk with him. He's got it now. Back to Woods. Doucette shoots. And grabbing that, Peter McGlynn.
A great save by Peter McGlynn, Paul. Got that, snake the glove out. Ryan Kilroy's been very impressed with him this year. Good shot by Wayne Doucette, the captain of the Kingston Frontenacs. He really snaps this one off. Gets a very good release. And watch the quick reaction time. That's the perfect spot to shoot from, right in the slot. Lots of traffic in front. McGlynn gets his glove up and makes a dazzling glove save. Ryan Kilroy says if Peter McGlynn's not the best rookie goaltender in the Ontario Hockey League, and he doesn't know who is. Been very impressed with McGlynn's play this year.
0-0. We are just underway. The Kingston Frontenacs and the Ottawa 67's. I'm Paul Romanuk along with Bob McKenzie. Yanni Aledo. He's got a great shot. They love to feed him in the power play. We got to look at him earlier in the season. We'll see how he's developed tonight if Ottawa gets a chance with the man advantage. Doucette comes out with it. We're going to have our first penalty of the game. Looks like a boarding call. And it is going to go against the Kingston Frontenacs.
Paul, the Kingston Frontenacs game plan is to play a physical game against the 67's. Get right on them. The 67's are an outstanding puck-handling team. They can really move it around. Brett Sagan, Yanni Aledo, some of those real skilled players can really throw that puck around. Kingston, on the other hand, has to get right on top of them, force them, and be very aggressive.
And that is a roughing call as opposed to boarding. The bottom line is that Wayne Doucette is off, and Ottawa will go to work in the power play. Penalty comes at 1:35. And Yanni Lado with the puck right now. Watch it when they get the puck down in the Kingston zone. They'll try to feed Lado back in the blue line. He's number 4, and he's got that great shot. Up along the boards. Trying to dig it loose there is Chris Simon, and that'll get a whistle. Lots of time to go on the man advantage. 1:44 still to go on the Ottawa power play.
The Ottawa power play is one of the best in the league, and Yanni Lado is one of the big reasons why. Young Finnish defenseman, came over as a free agent a couple of years ago. He has an unbelievable shot. They compare it to Doug Wilson. The other thing, though, is Yanni Lado is not the only threat on this one. His defense partner, Chris Snell, is another dangerous guy from the point.
Here's the pass to Lado, shooting! Wilson got a piece of that. You saw that good low bullet-like drive. Seguin back to Lado, to Chris Snell. Back to Lado, shoots! That rocket is tipped wide, bouncing back on top of the net. That was a wild bounce off of the glass.
You'll get a lot of weird bounces off the boards here. These are the most unforgiving boards in the league. Very, very stiff. They're just fixtures in there. They don't move at all on any shots. Now this one went off the glass. He just cranked. Yanni Lado cranks the howitzer. Deflects off the post, it looked like. That was the shot before. Jamming up in front of the net, doing a good job of trying to obscure Wilson's view.
Here's Chris Snell. Gaining the blue line. Seguin through the slot, shooting. That's knocked away. Wilson might have gotten a piece of it. Seguin back to Lado. Tried to get it back to Seguin. It ricochets off the skate of Tony Cimarello. Here's Seguin. Back up, trying to spot Kuwabera. 1 minute remaining in the man advantage for Ottawa, and Simon is in there offside.
Chris Snell, one of the top skill players in the Ontario League, he was not supposed to play tonight. What happened in the dressing room before the game was Jeff Riccardi, a real hard rock defenseman for the Ottawa 67's, was told by the team doctor he could not play because of a concussion. Chris Snell's got bone chips in his elbow and said, hey, I'll go anyways even though I wasn't supposed to play, so he's a surprise starter for tonight's game.
He just saw limited action yesterday in the game against Hamilton. Injured the elbow last Thursday in a game against the Peterborough Petes. Off the boards and out with 50 seconds, 5-0 remaining in the man advantage for Ottawa. They've had a couple of shots on goal so far, both off the stick of Yanni Lado. Matt Gieselbrick, number 8, knocking ahead for McKillop. He almost broke away. Here comes Troy Binney, trying to ankle outside. Get some help. Not much, though. 30 seconds left in the man advantage. Snell, over to Lado. Here comes DeFazio, flips it around the boards. 20 seconds left in the power play. Snell back at the line, gets a bit of a gift and is able to keep it in. Moves the puck up along the boards. Binney trying to get it in front, back to Snell, shooting. That's a way wide. Looks as though he was trying to lay it up there for a deflection, but nobody was around in the slot.
Well, Snell and Lado will play the entire power play on the points. Excellent puck handlers. That's what they want the quarterback in there.
Snell comes in, penalized player is back on. Into the corner. Walters. In heavy traffic, not much room to move. Peter Liptrot, number 21, glued to him. And that will do it for the Ottawa power play. They get 2 shots on goal, but can't score. A sold-out house. 16-14 to play in the first period. 0-0 between Ottawa and Kingston. Back to the line. Trying to punch it through is Gibson. That's blocked at the defense. Burrowing his way back. Tony Yob in on goal. Yob cuts right in, scores! Tony Yob makes it 1-0.
Great individual effort. He blocked the puck at the blue line and then just hustles down and fends off the man. The strength of Tony Yob pays off. Coming in on a 2-on-1. Great holding it like that. Long panic point. Tony Yob pulls it back in amongst his feet and fires it right past Peter McGlynn. Watch him drive to the net. Just fends the defender off. And the key was pulling it back and keeping it nice and low right between the legs.
Ottawa right back down into the Kingston zone off the draw. Yob's 21st of the year at 3:56, getting Kingston off and running in this game. Yanni Aledo back in his own end, up at center. Poirier clears it in. Darren Smith bumping his man, knocks it loose. Clancy parked in front, number 25, but Kingston controlling it. Mike Cavanaugh gets the pass over, up through center. Comes Cheyenne, stopped at the line. Smith. Clancy up there to forecheck again, he can't get it. And Lado all the way back in his own zone. He'll take it from the goaltender, Peter McGlynn. Lado giving a suck. Gord Harris right on top of it. These two teams like to play it rough, bump and grind, and win the battles in the corners. Lado moves it up around the boards. Kluchowski trying to get it out. He'll get some help. Craig Wilson out to center, just lofting it down. Jeff Wilson drops that off. Ottawa making some changes on the go. Puck comes out. Here comes Lafayette in over the blue line. Dropping it off. Similero trying to get it in front. Kluchowski out to center for Ottawa. They've got Walters who clears it in now. Kluchowski and Walters both peel off to the bench. Ottawa making some more changes. John East keeps it in at the line. And now the puck bounces up and out.
Tony Yob, kind of a different spelling, I-O-B. His coach Larry Matthew calls him 10B. Sounds like your high school class that maybe he was in.
They say these two teams like to play it physically. If their previous matchups this year are any indication, crunch, we'll see a lot of that.
Certainly. Well, I mentioned, if you get hit in the boards here, it really hurts. The unforgiving boards, they're rocketed right into place. They don't give at all.
That was just a good open ice hit there. John East in his 4th season in this league. Up to Simon. Angles in, top of the slot. All the way, scores! Chris Simon does it all by himself.
The Kingston defense opened up and parted like the Red Sea, and Simon, an excellent goal scorer, just burst down the middle. Some shoddy defense by the Kingston Canadians, a team well known for it. And he just did the very same thing that Tony Yob did a few minutes ago, which was keep it very low and put it right between the legs. Simon's got outstanding touch, and you can see the goaltender Wilson made his play a little too early. He threw that stick out in front and gave a big gaping hole for Simon to fire it through.
5:54 the time of the goal. Chris Simon gets it. That's his 32nd. John East back to pick it up. Here comes Simon. Just scored a moment ago. Trying to go to the outside. Rolls it towards the net. It's knocked away. Cavanaugh, lead pass. Up ahead. Bursting in. Giesebrecht drops it off. Was looking for Mark Major, but he was up even with him. And Giesebrecht's pass did not find Wood. Sharp angle shot right on goal. And Jeff Wilson will hang on to it.
Brian Kilray spent 14 seasons in the Ontario Hockey League, doesn't ever remember a divisional race as tight as this one is with 5 teams. He's back in junior hockey for good now after having been with the New York Islanders a couple of years ago as an assistant coach. Just an outstanding effort for his team this year. He did not expect them maybe to be as competitive as they have been, and they're a very young team too.
McKillop just clears it down. Mark Major, number 88, lumbering in after it, bumping Wade Gibson. And maybe after the whistle and thus the commotion, everybody will come in and mill around.
Troy Binney, 3rd OHL season, was overlooked in the 1989 entry draft. He's eligible this year, and he is rated by Central Scouting. In fact, he's rated by number 200, so if he's going to go in the draft this year, it's probably going to be in one of the later rounds.
He was a 3rd-round pick for Ottawa back in 1986. And has performed about on par for a 3rd-round guy. Yanni Aledo steering it across to Craig Wilson, his defensive partner. He will dump it in. 13-10 remaining in the first period. Ottawa and Kingston tied at 1. Back to the line. Wilson pumping it in on goal, kind of pushed it in towards the net, and Jeff Wilson got down on his knees, got a beat on it, and hangs on. The season series, but not in the standings, where Kingston is tied for first place heading into this game. Tied with the Oshawa Generals, who are playing the Peterborough Peace tonight. We'll try to update that game for you as the night passes us by. 12:58 to play in the first period. Ottawa and Kingston tied at 1. I'm Paul Romanuk along with Bob McKenzie, CHL Sunday night here on TSN. Vinny along the boards, digs it out. He's got McTamney in front, number 9. Couldn't get it to him. Up along the boards. And coming out now for Kingston is Jamie Allen. Hits the line. McTamney was in his back pocket. Allen follows it all the way in deep, but can't hook up. Here comes Troy Vinny. Yanni Lado was with him. They'll both peel off now. Ottawa making changes on the fly in the early going. Brian Kilray likes to switch up the lines quickly early in the game.
Likes to get a look at everybody, see how they're playing, and if the guys aren't in the mood to play or they're not on the mark, then they'll find themselves on the bench. He'll shorten his bench early.
Here comes Tony Yob in over the blue line. Back to Morrison. Nice move inside that line. Nice it into the corner. Yob. Back to Shayak. Shoots. Up off the boards. Hurrying over there to keep it in his Liptrot. Puck bouncing around crazily in front. Yob ready to take a whack at it. He's battling tooth and nail with John East. Liptrot moves it in. Smith turns it up and down. Couldn't quite get there for Ottawa. Shayak up along the boards for Lafayette. He'll come in offside. 11:41 to go in the first period, a 1-1 hockey game.
You know, Paul, everybody thinks the Kingston Frontenacs are going to drop out of the race. They've been waiting all season for the Frontenacs to fall on their face, but they haven't done it. Here we are coming into the stretch, a few weeks left, and they're tied for first place. And it's come as a big surprise because this is a team that does not have a lot of household names across Canada. We talked off the top, no Lindros, no Ricci, just excellent. 4 balanced lines, good team defense. And
a team that has done it without Drake Berehowski, who many say would have been the #1 pick overall had he played this full season. Walters moving it up for Ottawa, tries to get it in the front of the goal, knocked down. Shayak clearing it all the way down the ice. Up there to Voracek. Gord Harris. He's thrown out a couple of good body checks so far. Bumps in there with Lado. Walters will start back for Ottawa. Out at center. On the move, Kluchowski swings wide, drops it back, and Broziak was hooked on the play and couldn't get his stick on the puck. Shayak trying to feather it through there. Harris couldn't get there. He was being impeded as he cut through the slot. Liptrot to Shayak. Frontenacs make some changes. 1-1 hockey game, 10:50 to play first period. Mike Cavanaugh for Kingston, chopping it in. Great work by Cavanaugh, number 4, but he couldn't keep it in. He was 1 against 2, and the odds did not favor him. Bodnarchuk takes the pass, but that goes up over 2 lines offside.
Mike Bodnarchuk of the Kingston Frontenacs is as close they have to a game breaker. He's their leading scorer with 39 goals, 54 assists. He's eligible for the draft this year. He was overlooked last year because he didn't weigh enough. He played last year probably about 165 pounds. He's up to about 180. Has a good shot at going in the top 3 rounds this year, but he's the big offensive star, if you can call him that, for the Kingston Frontenacs.
He has a couple of great moves that we'll watch for. One of them, he likes to come in over the blue line with his back to you, kind of spin off the defenseman, and then head towards the net. And there's another one where he likes to go in deep and one-hand the puck in front of the goal. It's a set play. There's usually somebody there. So we'll watch for that. Cavanaugh up around the boards. Kept in. East thought he kept it in and punched one on goal, and a little jab after the whistle. Seguin was parked in front, and Jeff Wilson didn't think much of that. Gave him just a little taste of the goal stick.
Brett Seguin's probably the most skilled player out on the ice tonight. The Ottawa 67's leading scorer. Just a joy to watch when he passes the puck. We saw him in our first game, the very first CHL Sunday night game we did out of Hamilton. Just outstanding pass. You love to watch him on the power play when he gets out there with Lado and Snell. I don't know if I've ever seen 3 junior players pass the puck as well as those 3 guys when they're on.
He's actually tied with Owen Nolan for 3rd in the overall league scoring. stands on his own with the team and overall the big picture. Here's John East. As I mentioned, veteran defenseman with this Ottawa team. He will play a lot. Having problems there at center with Giesebrecht. Giesebrecht now brings it in over the blue line. Top of the slot, Major going for the net. The puck hits him in the seat as he was cutting through and breaks up that play promptly. Major bumps it in. East being watched by Giesebrecht. Up at center, Simon giving a bit of a shoulder, loses his stick and the puck. Thank you very much. Brock Woods at center. Long shot right on and right along the ice, and Peter McGlynn will hang on. He gets lots of company and decides that discretion is the better part of valor on that occasion. Hard to believe he's a rookie goalie in this league and playing with so much poise.
That's for sure, Paul. Coming into the year, they weren't quite sure what they were going to do with their goaltending situation. They had George Dorian, the backup, who played some last year. But McGlynn came in and took over the #1 spot, and this is one of the reasons why. Just very steady, stands up to the shooter. When he goes down, he's very secure that he's got it. No rebound coming out on that play.
Puck back to the blue line. Schneider shoots it in. Heavy traffic in front. Chance for Yob. He's got a goal already in this game. Back of the net now. Works it loose for Morrison. Trying to center it. Lado pings him. Look at Yob burrowing away like a weasel in behind that goal. Trying to get the puck loose. A real worker is Tony Yob, number 11.
He typifies this Kingston Frontenacs. Good on both ends of the ice. When we talk about their defense, we're not talking about the 6 guys that play on the blue line. We're talking about all their forwards, everybody, and forechecking. And as I mentioned before, the game plan is for them to get in early on top of the 67's before they can start throwing that puck around.
Stewart punches that one right through, and that's held on to by McGlynn. I see what you were talking about. He gets right down to the ice, Peter McGlynn. Very careful that he has everything covered, and he's very good at containing the rebounds.
He's the #1 ranked goaltender on the NHL number 9 ranked goaltender on the NHL Central Scouting List, the midterm ranking. Has an outside chance of going. He's got to go in the first 3 rounds or not at all this year. So with goaltenders, it usually takes a couple of years before, unless they're franchise-type goaltenders like a Trevor Kidd and Brandon. Quite often it will take 2 or 3 years before you get your opportunity to be drafted.
Icing call there on Ottawa. I guess Trevor Kidd would be the top-ranked goaltender in Canadian junior hockey.
No question about that.
It has been a few years since we've seen fans packed into this building.
And sometime tonight, I expect we're going to call this team the Kingston Canadians. Of course, they were called the Kingston Canadians. Last season, they were called the Kingston Raiders. Now they're the Kingston Frontenacs.
Stewart with another shot right off the face-off. Dave Stewart with a couple of good chances from the point. Landed the first one on goal, but not that last one. He will hurry back into his own end after it. And in pursuit is Troy Binney. Puck thrown in front. Binney with a shot. Had the open top shelf, couldn't get it up there. Wade Gibson along the boards has it poked past him. Up along the boards, hits McTamney's skate. Here's Stewart, lead pass. Morrison in over the blue line, and offside called on the Frontenacs.
Jamie Allen just got a little too eager and stepped over the blue line a little too quickly, forcing the offside.
One of the toughest players in the Kingston lineup.
Came over in a trade with Windsor, I believe, with Bob McKillop. A trade again where they gave up a flare, get 2 in return, and they increased the depth of the hockey team.
Shayak, number 17. Liptrot moves it in. Shayak gets over to keep it in. Trying to feed it through to that slot. Goes off the skate. Here's Lafayette along the board, trying to get it in front. Working up there with Harris. Here's Gord Harris now. In the corner to Lafayette. Poked off his stick. East was in tight. Moves it along the boards. Teams at even strength, 7:43 to play in the first period. Kingston and Ottawa tied at 1. Smith in his own end. Long pass out at center. Here comes DeFazio. Hits the line with Clancy. Shoots. Rebound sitting there. DeFazio after it. So was Clancy, and neither could get there. Frontenacs come back out. Lafayette hits the line. Tried to poke it on goal. Wilson was in tight on him. Smith off the boards. Pass Lado. Jared DeFazio, a couple of 21s. DeFazio and Liptrot will tie it up.
Well, Paul, we mentioned the Kingston Canadians, the Kingston Raiders. The Frontenacs, of course, go back to the old Eastern Pro League days when the Kingston was a Boston city. And I talked to Don Cherry this morning, a noted Kingstonian, and he was saying it's about time they finally got Kingston hooked up with the right colors, black and gold. And of course, the Montreal Junior Canadian franchise came over here. They wore Canadian uniforms. A lot of people had a tough time with that.
Back to the line, puck punched towards the goal. Mike Cavanaugh maybe hurried his shot a little bit. Wade Gibson. Cavanaugh knocks it down. Lado kicks it ahead. Bodnarchuk cutting across, number 7 there, gets it at his own blue line. Up ahead, Doucette, number 23, turns on the Jets, gets there late and gives his man a bump anyways. Brock Woods, up for Bodnarchuk, hits the line, in deep. Here's that one-hand pass in front of the goal, doesn't get to do it that time. Lado was wrapped all over him, but you can see him choke up on the stick. That is a set play. Walter spins off his check, and Broziak comes in, but Ottawa get caught in the offside. Some pretty good chances for both teams so far in this game.
There's that play you talked about, Paul. Mike Bodnarchuk coming down the wing, one hand on the stick, looking to fire it out in front. But Yanni Lado has something to say about that. Crunch right into the boards. Great camera work, great hit. Great defense by the Ottawa 67's.
Into the boards and into your living room.
Looked like they were coming right out of the TV set there.
Boy, if they ever get 3D television, wouldn't that be a great shot? Up along the boards after it. Poirier trying to get it loose. 6:10 to play first period. 1-1 between Ottawa and Kingston. Nelson, lead pass and over the blue line. Bodnarchuk was breaking in, but he was hooked up way back at the blue line, and that is going to precipitate a penalty call against the Ottawa 67's. Bodnarchuk turned it up a notch just outside the line to come in on that play, but he didn't get there.
No, Chris Simon was in a mismatch there. Mike Bodnarchuk is one of the fastest, if not the fastest, Kingston Frontenac, and one of the fastest skaters in the Ontario League. Simon's a big boy, 6'3", over 200 pounds, and there was no way he was going to do anything there except pull down Bodnarchuk. Otherwise, Bodnarchuk was in the clear.
Simon is off for interference at the 14-minute mark, and Kingston with its first power play chance of the game. Both these teams with fairly healthy power plays.
Larry Mavety never knows quite what to expect from his power play. He says he's got 10 guys. He throws them out in any combination of 5 and hopes for the best.
Sounds like the George Armstrong school of power play. Power play, what do I want to say? I was going to say strategy, but Doucette shooting, just wide, scores! John Nelson put Kingston on top.
The shot comes right off the boards, and Nelson's right there on the doorstep to flip it over McGlynn. Good hard shot by Doucette, nice and low. We talked about those boards, how much of a rebound you can get off of them. It just came straight up to Nelson, the former Toronto Marlborough, an overage player in the Ontario League, and he's just right where he's supposed to be. McGlynn had no time to react after the shot came back off the boards. He was too far out of position trying to cut the angle down on the point shot.
And Kingston on top. And that is only Nelson's 8th power play goal of the season, but his 20th goal of the year. And that almost looked like a set play the way it came off the boards, and he was parked right there. Up after it. Schneider chips it away from him. Lado, long cross-ice pass. Dave Stewart in back of his own goal for Kingston up around the boards. McKillop at the blue line. Lado stood him up and couldn't see where the puck was. Finally, Stewart breaks it out to Giesebrecht, number 8. He's given a bump by Troy Binney. They try to get away. Here's Giesebrecht again. Off the boards, McKillop will turn it on and go in after it. Number 6, McKillop, buckling his man Gibson. Here comes Mark Major up to throw his weight around. McTampney gets an elbow up on him, and an elbowing call coming up, and it is going to be against Ottawa. McTampney stuck the elbow into the kisser of Mark Major.
Big number 88, Major, came flying in first and really laid his full weight on the hit here. Watch Major come into the picture. Boom! And there's the elbow. McTampney coming after, exacting a little revenge, and taking a 2-minute penalty for elbowing. So the power play for Kingston clicked last time. Now they'll go at it again, and Brian Kilray can't be too happy about this.
Not at all. But the Kingston fans are loving it.
Not a happy man right now.
Morrison on the face-off for Kingston, trying to get it back to Peter Liptrot. Yob, number 11, jabbed it towards the goal. It's knocked down, and Steve Kluchowski gets it all the way down the ice for Ottawa. Lots of time for Kingston on this power play. 1:45 to go.
Kingston power play is very simple. Nothing fancy about it. Get it in, gain the blue line, get it back to the point, and jam up the front of the net.
Yob takes the 2-line pass. Offside called on Kingston.
So I was saying, Paul, nothing fancy. They get over the blue line, get it back to the point man, and a guy like Yob will get in front of the net and really try to run a lot of interference so McGlynn can't see the shot coming from the point, or maybe pick up a rebound as they did off the boards.
I tell you, if Yob gets into a scrap, watch him, because he catches a lot of guys off guard by using the left. He's a bit of a southpaw when he scraps.
He had his game face on tonight. He was in early, wouldn't smile for anybody. They had the cameras out and said, give us a bit of a smile, Tony. He wouldn't. He says, I don't show my teeth before the game.
Bares his teeth.
Bares his teeth during the game, yes.
Somebody had to say that, Bob.
So we both did.
In unison, which makes it all that much more effective. 1:20 to go in the power play, and the power play not effective so far for Kingston. They do have one power play goal, but on this little stretch, they haven't landed a shot on net. Allen comes in, back to Liptrot. That's tipped, and will float up over the glass. 1:06 to go in the man advantage for the Frontenacs.
Larry Mavety, a real character. Him and Brian Kilray are very good friends. Now, you wouldn't know it tonight. They love to go head-to-head. Mav says he's responsible for giving Brian Kilray part of his wardrobe. Whenever Mav puts on a little weight, and he says he did at one point, 20 to 30 pounds, he takes the sports coats out of his office, out of his closet, and passes them over to Brian Kilray. They have a great deal of time chuckling back and forth as to which one has the bigger girth.
Now, where do you hear that stuff?
First thing they want to know, Mav says, you make sure you tell them that Brian's wardrobe is courtesy of me.
I don't know whether I'd brag about that or not. Just kidding. Just kidding. 4:03 to play in the first period. 55 seconds to go in the man advantage for Kingston. Bodnarchuk shoots it around the boards. Mark Major, number 88, lets it go all the way back to the line. Here's Kavanaugh, kind of whips on that one. And Peter Ambrosiak clears it down the ice. 40 seconds left in the power play for Kingston. They lead this game 2-1 with 3 minutes and 40 seconds to play in the first period. Here come the Frontenacs. Doucette off the board. Bodnarchuk in to play it. Back to the line. Doucette trying to work it in. Greg Walters right there to steal it, and he will send it down the ice with 20 seconds remaining in the man advantage now for Kingston. Maybe time for one more rush. Cross ice to Bodnarchuk. Major is trailing. Bodnarchuk wheels along the boards. Back to Liptrot, shooting. That hits Major, bounces down into the corner. Penalized player is back on. John East rings it along the boards, and it came out. Peter Liptrot made the effort, but not quite.
Mark Major's the guy that the Kingston team wants to get in front of the net on the power play for obvious reasons. He's a big boy at 6'4", 220 pounds. Second-round draft pick of the Pittsburgh Penguins. And he sometimes is like a sleeping giant. Now, tonight, he's already been woken up. We saw earlier where he just went crashing in there and laid a big hit on the 67's. But quite often, it'll take somebody to hit him before he gets into the hockey game.
And that's exactly what his coach says when you talk about him. He says he needs to play with more intensity, more consistently.
All the tools to be a pro, he has to put them all together.
Pittsburgh Penguins offered him a contract back just after they drafted him. He turned it down and is hoping that his play will earn him a better contract. Yaw in his own end. Seguin up there to watch him. Kuwabera, number 17, lurking in the long grass. Simon shoots it back in for Ottawa. 2:30 to play in the first period. 2-1. Kingston leading Ottawa. Seguin back of the net, number 10 for Ottawa. Can't get it. Allen along the boards. He's given a bump. Shayak, long pass out at center. Morrison knocks it down. It's bouncing. He can't get control of it. Now he has it. Morrison comes in. Gets it up ahead to Yob. Outside, trying to muscle his way in front. Lado is on him. Rocks him along the boards. Yob gets it loose. Kicked away, and Lado will pick it up. Out at center. Here comes Snell, turning it up, hits the line. Back to Simon, shoots. Fired it wide, rebound. Couldn't hook up. There's a shot, blasted just low and wide by Poirier. Drifted in by Lado. That's blockered away by Jeff Wilson, the Kingston goalie, and the Frontenacs come back out. Here comes McKilla, hopping to center. Shoots. That will drift in. Funny bounce off the boards. It's played by Wilson up at center. McTamney, number 9, hurrying up there to forecheck, bumping his man along the boards. Here's Troy Binney. Behind the goal. Binney's got it. In front. Scores! Dan Poirier just buried that one.
Not much better textbook play than that. Wheeling out from the corner, the pass out to Poirier. He one times it, keeps it nice and low, and beats Wilson. There's the pass out, and he's already got the stick halfway up. Real key there is he didn't stop it, yet he didn't go for the full windup. It didn't come over his head. Poirier just cranks it right past him. No chance for Wilson on that one.
And just to make things tougher, he had some traffic in front of him, too. Not much chance for Jeff Wilson on that blast. That ties it at 2.
Sorry, Paul. Great pass by Binney to get it out from the corner.
And if you go back about 10 seconds in that play, Binney made the whole thing happen with a great effort in the corner and behind the goal to set it up.
Here comes Binney coming out from the corner. Very heads up. You see he's got the head up, looking to see who's open. And in the deep, deep slot, Poirier's there to put it home.
2-2 hockey game. .112 to play, first period. Teams trading goals so far. Here comes Dave Stewart. Doucette over to get it, number 23, tied up. Great work by John Nelson, working it through to the slot. Nelson with the puck bouncing, goes after it again. Now it's carried out. Greg Walters with Klachowski, comes in. Walters trying to go through. Klachowski along the boards now. It's loose. Ambrosiak. And Wilson hangs on.
Wilson gets a hold of that one. Play made possible when number 27, Jeff Snyder of the Kingston Frontenacs, had the puck go off his hand. It deflected back in front of the net. While he was shaking his hand trying to get rid of the electricity running up to his elbow, the 67's had a pretty good chance on Wilson.
44 seconds to play in the first period. A 2-2 hockey game. Poirier and Simon scoring for Ottawa. Yob and Nelson scoring for Kingston. Seguin, number 10 on the face-off for Ottawa. Back to John East. Shoots. Rebound right in front. Kuwabera. Back of the net to Seguin. Centered it. Drops back. Snell with a shot as he was coming in from the point. And it just gets past John East and down the ice. 25 seconds to play in the first period. Young, bumping East. Doucette claims it. Right in front. Great chance. A glorious chance for Nelson, and he couldn't find the handle. Brock Woods back to pick it up. Overskated it. 7 seconds left. Here's Seguin cutting in front, shoots. Grabbed by Wilson, and he hangs on.
Great action, great forechecking at both ends. Jeff Wilson had to come out to pick that one up. Seguin fed the puck out. and got a good shot off away at Wilson. Wilson's got the second best goals against average in the entire Ontario Hockey League this year, 3.28. He's very consistent and a real fixture for the Kingston Frontenacs.
Played well over 2,000 minutes this year. And has 3 shutouts, which is more than a lot of guys get in a career. 3 seconds to go in the period. Draw one cleanly. Lado took a stab at it. A couple of players did, but time runs out. A great first period of play, and the two teams tied at 2.
Well, we've been looking for Ottawa's offense and Kingston's defense. We've seen a little bit of everything. We're going to go to the end of the first period with things all even at 2-2.
Shots on goal in the first period. Ottawa 14 and Kingston 8. The score 2-2. Our first intermission is on deck.
Well, Paul, the Kingston Frontenacs is for the different uniform in Kingston for the 3rd consecutive season. As we mentioned before, it was the Kingston Canadians 2 years ago, one of the worst teams in major junior history, 28 consecutive losses, team that was going nowhere. Lou Kozowski, a Peterborough businessman, came in and bought the team, and he liked black and silver. He changed the team's uniforms to LA King type uniforms and called the team the Raiders. Well, last year he decided he'd had enough of Kingston. He threatened to move the team to Owen Sound, all sorts of things. In a way, he's responsible for the large crowd we see here tonight, because when he left, before he left and sold the team, the threat of the pullout, a lot of the fans rallied and bought season tickets. They had 1,200 season tickets here before the season even began. When a new group came in, bought the team, led by Bobby Addersley, who played for the Whitby Dunlops in the World Championships many moons ago. Him and Ren Blair, another National Hockey League name that people would recognize, came in, bought the team, and said, hey, the first thing we're going to do is get this back to the old days, restore some of the tradition to Kingston, the Frontenacs. And the fans have really taken to this team this year. This is the best Kingston Canadian team that there we go, the Freudian slip. This is the best major junior team Kingston's ever had. They'll tie the franchise record for wins tonight if they can pull off a win against the Ottawa 67's.
Peter McGlynn, 6 stops in the first period on 8 shots. Jeff Wilson was a little busier. They pumped 14 shots at him. He made 12 saves. Second period action underway. Teams start the period at even strength. Seguin at center for Ottawa, number 10. Stopped at the blue line. And Yanni Lado back at his own blue line. And we've got a problem with the Ottawa net. Thus the stoppage. It's off the pegs. That'll give us a chance to take a look at big Mark Major.
Loves to get in front of the net and really jam things up, and at 6'4", 220, why wouldn't he?
Second round draft pick of the Pittsburgh Penguins back in 1988. I'm getting a few words from Coach Larry Mavety.
They don't look like words of encouragement. Mav is not the kind of guy that'll pull any punches on the bench. He lets his players know exactly how he feels.
Mavety is the kind of guy who, if you're not contributing in a game, will send you to the dressing room. Kuwabara, sharp angle, and Wilson will hang on to that. And Mavety did just that a few weeks ago, a game in Oshawa. He didn't feel Mark Major was giving it as much as he would like, and he sent him to the dressing room after the first period.
Maybe that was the subject of their conversation on the bench.
Jeff Wilson has been a great backbone to a great Kingston defense this year.
He's not considered a big prospect for the National Hockey League draft, but Larry Mavety does not know where they would be without him this year. Being the real backbone of this team defense that we've talked about so much tonight.
And what will be the book on him? Too small?
Too small, and at this point, again, it's goaltenders. They take so long to develop. And while he's not necessarily going to get drafted, that doesn't rule out the possibility of him developing his skills, showing up somewhere down the line.
John East deep in his own end for Ottawa, trying to get it out, gets a little bit of help, and away comes Greg Walters. Up ahead to Klachowski, back to Walters. Tried to drop it through the slot for Ambrosiak, who was coming hard with a man on him. Couldn't get through. Wilson over to East. Off the glass, Klachowski in after it. Walters picks it up, back to Klachowski, but not a great pass there because Klachowski had nowhere to go. Out through center. Bodnarchuk hits the line to Doucette. Looking around for Bodnarchuk again. There's the pass. It bounces on him. East and Bodnarchuk go to the corner. Right in front, they score! Wayne Doucette.
Well, John Nelson and Wayne Doucette teamed up earlier where Doucette took the shot and the puck came off the backboard and Nelson put it in. This time, Nelson did the corner work, getting it out to a perfectly positioned Doucette. Watch Nelson behind the net come out, heads up play, beautiful little backhand pass. And again, we're seeing the Ottawa 67's are having a tough time defending against those guys, those Kingston players in the deep slot. Doucette just pulled himself away from the 2 posts and was left all alone. Great pass by Wilson, great backhand pass. The goaltender McGlynn had no chance as Doucette fired it by him.
McGlynn got a little bit of it with his left skate, but not nearly enough, and just kind of glanced off the skate and then into the goal. And Doucette burns him. It's 3-2, Kingston on top early in this second period. That is Doucette's 28th of the year from Nelson and Bodnarchuk at 126. Yanni Aledo being watched by Yob, who's lost his helmet. Lip trot to Morrison. Cutting right in front, Morrison with a chance. That stop, McGlynn doesn't know where it is, and Lado will get it out. Out at center. DeFazio comes in, offside, called on Ottawa.
Geez, a great save by McGlynn. He didn't know where the puck was. He sprawled out, was right on his side, was actually rolling over with his back to the puck, sitting there loose. Unfortunately for him, the Ottawa 67's came in. Just a great effort here coming in, Justin Morrison. And there's the puck laying loose. McGlynn with his back turned to the puck. Fortunately, Yanni Lado was there to pick it up for the Ottawa 67's.
Doucette with his 28th, Nelson and Bodnarchuk getting the assist, as I mentioned, and that puts Kingston up 3-2. The team's trading goals so far, that's been the pattern. It's Ottawa's turn to respond. We'll see what they can conjure up. We've just played 2 minutes of the second period. A close one coming into this game. Kingston tied for first place in the Leyden division of the Ontario Hockey League with the Oshawa Generals. Ottawa only 2 points back in third place. In front, Seguin spinning, tried to drive it on goal, lost his balance and possession of the puck. Morrison after it, he's tripped up. No penalty. Liptrot back there to pick it up for the Frontenacs. Off the boards. Allen under pressure, back to Liptrot, tries to ride it all the way up around. Chris Snell getting over there to keep it in. He is playing injured, is Chris Snell. Liptrot in back of his own net. Out comes Allen across center. He's got Morrison and Yam with him. Snell knocks it down off the boards. A little bit too far for Simon. Pass up ahead for McKillop, knocked off his stick. Here's Schneider. In over the blue line. Yob trying to get there. The Frontenacs making changes. Stewart at center, and that one will bounce up. And actually hits press row about 5 seats down from where we're sitting. I mentioned that great race in the Leyden division of the Ontario Hockey League. 2 of the other 5 teams that are in the race, Oshawa and Peterborough. And Oshawa tied for Kingston for first heading into this one, leading Peterborough by 1, and Eric Lindros has both goals for the Oshawa Generals.
Big night for Eric, and he was the subject of a full-page story in the Montreal Gazette today. His fame knows no bounds at this point.
And I would say CHL Sunday Night has helped that out a little bit because he's made a couple of appearances on coast-to-coast television. Major back of the goal. Out to Schneider, just gets by him. And you travel across the country and talk to people about Lindros, and they all remark about how great it is to get a chance to see him play.
Well, it's been a long time since anybody came. In fact, no one's ever come along and had the kind of physical skills he has to be so big at such a young age and so strong, and yet have so much smarts for the game and so much offensive ability as well.
Greg Walters in his 3rd season with the team, and he is eligible this year for the NHL draft.
This is the kind of guy you want to go to playoff war with. I know the Ottawa 67's and Oshawa Generals have had some great playoff battles over the years, and this was a guy who last year really came up big and helped Ottawa defeat Oshawa in the playoffs.
In the opening, we talked about the fact that he's just come too far, worked too hard to let anything slip away. He is one of those Ottawa players digging down just that much more deeply, heading down the stretch run and in this great, great battle for first place. Yanni Aledo in back of his own net. Deep in his own end, rather. A little ways to go before he gets back of the net. Kavanaugh back there to pick it up for the Frontenacs. Luchowski up to watch it. Bodnarchuk up ahead. Here comes Dusanin over the blue line with Nelson. Nelson has it now. Across to Bodnarchuk. Hopped over his stick. He'll have to hurry just to keep it in. Long pass up for Kluchowski. Hops over his stick. Off the boards, McTamney bumping with Doucette. Nelson sprints up. He comes in with Bodnarchuk. Shoots! Great shot! McGlynn had to stretch and answered the call in spades. Kluchowski trying to dig it loose for Ottawa. Bodnarchuk was behind him. Here comes Troy Binney. Sees some open ice. In on goal. Binney shoots. Weak shot. That's handled by Wilson. Bodnarchuk in his own end. Binney bumps him along the boards. Harris, lead pass for John Nelson. Harris comes up to join him. Pass across to Lafayette, top of the slide, shooting off a leg. Loose puck sitting there. It's picked up by East, trying to get it out. Great effort by Nelson to keep it in. That's the kind of effort that wins hockey games. Here's Harris along the boards. He's given a jolt. Lafayette comes in. Finally, it's cleared. Great lunging effort there by Harris to keep the puck inside the Ottawa zone. Lead pass a little bit too far this time for Gord Harris. He will move in right after John East hooks him up a little bit on the play, and a penalty is going to be called against Kingston. It's going to go against Gord Harris. Hooking will be the call, and Ottawa will get a chance on the power play. They trail by 1. The Labatt Brier, the granddaddy of Canadian curling, coming up on TSN. 2 draws daily. March 5th to March 9th. It is going to be some great curling action. Vic Router will be along to call all the play-by-play. Ray Turnbull will be joining him, and you'll see such great curlers as Eddie the Wrench Werenick. I know Peter McGlynn will be glued to his set.
No question about that. He's glued right to the post here as he races over Mike Bodnarchuk, a very hard shooter, an accurate shooter for the Kingston Frontenacs. And at the other end, you get some good action. Troy Binney coming in showing his strength, but Jeff Wilson stands up and blocks that backhand attempt from Troy Binney.
Trying to one-hand it through. Power play now coming up. Harris off for hooking at 5:51. And the Ottawa 67's, who are down by 1. The ball is in their court. Here comes Seguin in over the blue line. Top of the slot, hooked away. Snell, Aledo, back to Snell. Ottawa 0 for 1 in the power play. Guevara through the middle. Gets past Lado, a race for it. Cimarello turning it up. Got there, but a little bit late. Didn't quite have the juice. Here comes Guevara. 1:22 left in the power play. Simon lets it go. Guevara in after it. Schneider rides him into the ice. Simon over along the boards. Right in front. Guevara tips it wide. Seguin picks it up. Tried to go back to the blue line, and it went off a leg. Lado has to take it out at center. 1 minute left in the man advantage. Ottawa with the power play, and they trail Kingston 3-2. Kiesebrack couldn't get a handle on it. Lado taps it back in. Kingston doing a good job, and Kiesebrack will shoot it off the boards and eat up some more time. McGlynn with a man coming, gives it away. Kiesebrack smokes one low and wide. 30 seconds left in the man advantage, and Ottawa so far hasn't had a shot on goal.
No, they're having a real difficult time getting on track, and a lot of the credit goes to the Kingston team for being so forceful. They're challenging at every part of the ice.
Here's Kluchowski in over the blue line, tried to drop it across, intercepted by McKillop. 12 seconds left in the power play. Snell will shoot it in. Up to forecheck goes Peter Ambrosiak. Number 12 can't get there. That puck hops up over the glass with only 5 seconds remaining in the power play for Ottawa. Looks like they will come up with the goose egg on this man advantage.
Brian Kilrea's got to be very concerned when his power play is not working, because that's a great source of offense for them. That's when they can really put those guys out. They can pass the puck out and wheel around. And if they're not on, that's a real disadvantage for the Ottawa 67's, because a lot of their offense comes on the power play.
McTamney up there to take the face-off now. 5 seconds left in the man advantage. He gets it back to John East, teeing it up, shoots, low and wide. Here's Wade Gibson, penalized player, is back on the ice. Teams all even with 12:04 to play in the second period. 3-2, Kingston with the lead. Mark Major, big number 88 in there after it. Bumping with Gibson. Gibson right in front, crashing through there was Giesenbrecht, and just ran out of real estate. Out through center, Troy Binney. Trying to dance his way around Liptrot. He's still got it. Major comes back to head him. Here's John East. Major watching him. What a shift for Mark Major since stepping back onto the ice, out of the penalty box. Binney with the puck, circling with a shot. Had some daylight on the short side, but not quite enough, evidently. Top. Wayne Doucette's goal at the 1:26 mark of this second period is the difference. I'm Paul Romanuk with Bob McKenzie, CHL Sunday night. Our final look at the Ontario Hockey League during this regular season. We'll be in Quebec next weekend, and then in the Memorial Cup in May. Wilson darting up there. Good burst of speed. He's knocked down now. Everybody put on the brakes. Back in now for Kingston. Yob in on goal. Snell knocks him down. Circling and keeping it in is Morrison along the boards. Yob is in front of the net. Lots of heavy traffic. And back in front of the goal. You didn't see it. It was behind the play. The Ottawa goaltender Peter McLean gave Tony Yob a shot, and Yob dropped to the ice. He's still down on the ice, as a matter of fact, getting up slowly. He took a shot from the goalie, and that was right away from the play. Everybody was watching action in the corner.
Everybody except the referee, and there's no question Peter McLean's going to be going off a penalty here as he separates Yob and McLean. Yob, as we said before, loves to stand in front of that net, jam things up. He did it. McLean took offense, gave him a poke. Not only one, but then when the referee came in to break it up, another one when Yob was down.
Just for good measure. Just for good measure, I guess.
Here's how things started in the corner. Good scuffle going on. Justin Morrison, a real disturber type for the Kingston Frontenacs. He loves to get in the thick of things. Takes on some of the heavyweights in the league. Now, Peter McGlynn's not one of the heavyweights, but he threw a pretty good punch in front of the net.
Morrison is an interesting story. He has, for the record, I believe under 200 penalty minutes, but the Ontario Hockey League and its penalty minute totals does not count 10-minute or game misconducts. We don't know why, but they don't count it in their totals. The play-by-play announcer for Kingston, Jim Gilchrist, does, and if you go by that, some of the penalty totals are rather revealing that the league stats don't show. And Morrison, one of those guys. And he will have another couple of minutes tacked on to that penalty total now.
Larry Mavity's not a happy man, and I believe it's because Peter McGlynn is not getting a penalty. At this point, it looks like McGlynn may be going unpunished and things will come across perfectly even. And I don't understand that one, because I was sure the referee saw McGlynn in front of the net deck Tony up. If that's the case, the Ottawa 67's are getting off easy here.
The referee is Blaine Angus, and he is explaining everything right now. And he knows that he got off lucky.
Brian Kilrea's happy. Larry Mavity is not.
Talked a few moments ago about the Memorial Cup Championship. You can see it all here on TSN. The semifinals, May 5th and 6th. The final, 12th and 13th. And A little bit of controversy as to whether or not that Memorial Cup will be in Hamilton or not. We will talk to one of the owners of the Dukes of Hamilton, Mario Caputo, during our second intermission. So listen up for that. They're sorting out the penalty situation, and it looks like it's going to be offsetting 2-minute minors right down the board. Teams will play 3-on-3. Nobody will have a power play.
Something you really miss in the National Hockey League. You never see 3-on-3 anymore. We're going to see some wide open hockey here.
And some of the speedsters and the fancy Dan guys out there. Bodnerchuk, one of those guys. Stewart back to pick it up for Kingston. Dave Stewart with lots of room to move it. 3-on-3. This is pond hockey, and he comes in and it's offside. Just so you know, the penalties, Morrison and Yob going off for Kingston for roughing and slashing respectively. Wilson and McGlynn getting the Ottawa penalties for roughing and slashing respectively. So offsetting minors right down the board. They played 3-on-3.
There's the kind of guy you want to have on your team when you are playing 3-on-3 hockey. A real freewheeling defenseman from Finland with an outstanding shot. Yanni Lehto.
McTamney picks it up for Ottawa. Across to Snell. He and McTamney come in. Snell, nice little move with the shoulders. A good shot on goal. And a good stop by Jeff Wilson. Back comes Giesebrecht. Long shot. Off the boards. Kind of a dead bounce off of those boards. Snell. Up ahead to McTamney. He falls down. Took a look at the referee for a penalty. Nothing doing there. Shayak across center. Hits the line. Goes in deep. 3-on-3 for the next 45 seconds. Walters back there for Ottawa. Overskates it. Giesebrecht pins him along the boards. The loose puck is claimed by Yanni Lehto. Up ahead to Walters. Across center. Hits the line. Drops it off. McTamney tried to punch through the return pass, and here we come back. Lip trot. Up off the boards. East back to pick it up. 23 seconds left in the 3-on-3. John East hits the line. He's got Walters up there with him. And back we come the other way. They just go back and forth. I don't think we've had a whistle. Woods trying to get through. Loose puck in front. McGlynn was down and got a piece of it. Here comes Sagan. Back for Ottawa. Hits the line. Drops it up. Clancy picks it up. Overskated it. And here comes Yob. Turns it up. In over the blue line. Around Lehto. Yob shoots. Rebound. And that's covered up by Peter McGlynn. You gotta love it. 3-2, and that was some great wide open hockey. 26 to play in the second period. 3-2. What a great play.
Oh, right between the legs. Yanni Lehto gets burned bad on this one as Yob comes through. Almost scores a second goal of the game, but McGlynn, a great job, sprawling save. Tony Yob, outstanding so far in this game.
He has a goal. Kingston has the lead. There's the pass. Back to the line. Schneider pivots. Tried to turn around to the forehand. Here's Yob, back of the net. Off the boards. And Dave Stewart just rocks Simon. Simon along the boards. Lost a little bit of a head of steam. Now he's got it. Comes in to a barrel. Shoots. Upstairs, just wide. And here comes Yob, back with the loose puck. Wilson knocks it down at center. 7:50 to play, second period. 3-2. Kingston leading Ottawa. Morrison in over the line. Behind the back, no look pass for Yob. He picks it up in back of the goal. Trying to center it. Morrison shoots. He scores. Was just in time.
Tony Yob's putting on a show as he passes it up to centerman Justin Morrison here. Lots of goals from the slot tonight. Morrison perfectly positioned, but again, Tony Yob doing some great work behind the net, fending off a check from the Ottawa 67's, racing around, good heads-up play, fires it out in front. McGlynn did a good job of getting a stick on it to try and deflect the pass, but it came out to Morrison anyways, and he fired it by him.
And for the first time in this game, we have a 2-goal margin separating the clubs. Kingston leading Ottawa 4-2. Morrison from Yob and Allen at 12:25. DeFazio shoots it in for Ottawa. The key for Ottawa in this game, they've trailed for the most part during the game, but they've bounced back quickly. Binney spinning around, shoots it wide. Right in front, Binney. Can't get it out of his skates. Bodnerchuk. Couldn't handle it, and it's up over 2 lines. Offside called on Kingston.
Paul, the Ottawa 67's have the ability to come back. They have a good offensive team, but Kingston is outstanding when they get the lead. In fact, if they can go to the dressing room with any kind of lead at all, they've been 28-3-2 when leading after 2 periods this year, and that's the kind of record that the Ottawa 67's don't want to see.
7:01 to play in the second period. There's the score. And at last word, the Oshawa Generals leading Peterborough 2-1. Oshawa is the team that Kingston is tied with for first place in the Leyden division heading into this game. Liptrot fires it in way wide off the boards. Shayak, number 17, trying to knock it loose for the Frontenacs. Liptrot keeps it in at the blue line. Off the glass. Bodnerchuk, number 7, in after it. Back to the line for Shayak. Off a set of shin guards, and it's cleared out. 4-2 is the score. 6:27 to go. Ottawa trying to come back. No banners up in the rafters here at the Kingston Memorial Centre. Sure, they'd love to hike a few up there, maybe for a league championship. Mike Kavanaugh in back of his own net for the Frontenacs. Out at center. Cimarello couldn't hook up with it. Big shot pumped on goal there by Garen Smith. Rebound over along the boards. Ottawa with the 4th lineup there trying to generate something and crumpling to the ice. Dan Poirier of the Ottawa 67th gets up rather slowly. He was really jarred along the boards, and Bob, you called it earlier in the game, really unforgiving boards here at the Memorial Centre.
No question, and here he gets hit directly from behind. I believe it's Brock Woods, number 5, comes in. We've said it once, we've said it 1,000 times on CHL Sunday night. They're clamping down on hits from behind, anything close to the boards. We do not want any serious injuries, and he gets 5 minutes for boarding. And as we say, the clamp down on this has really come on in the last 5 or 6 years, where we've seen so many spinal cord injuries in hockey. A very dangerous situation when a guy goes headfirst into the boards. And Brock Woods is off for 5 minutes, giving the Ottawa power play a great opportunity to get in gear.
Brock Woods actually had a brilliant night on Friday in a game here in Kingston against Oshawa. He scored 2 goals and brought the house down, apparently. He looks okay. Poirier was on the receiving end of that hit from behind.
I know Larry Mavity's not too happy with the call, but I really believe that for the best interest of hockey, when anybody is hit close to the boards like that, they've got to be taught that it is the wrong thing to do. It's a very dangerous play, and you got to do something about it. The way to drive that point home, give the guy 5 minutes.
A 5-minute power play for Ottawa. This could well be the turning point. 5:57 to play in the second period. Ottawa down by a pair of goals. Snell keeps it into the blue line. Gloved it ahead, actually. And referee Blaine Angus whistles the play down after Chris Snell gloved the puck onto his own stick.
Brian Kilray wants to see that power play get in gear, and I really think it's hurt a little bit because Snell is playing hurt. Number 6 for the 67's has the floating bone chips in his elbow, and it's not really been a factor tonight. Outstanding puck handler.
And down right off the face-off, Matt Giesebrecht. And now everybody will crowd up in the corner, and Giesebrecht looked long and hard at the referee, wondering if that was going to drop penalty.
That would be the Giesebrechts of Pembroke, Ontario. There's a lot of them up there. They're very well known in that area. His father, Don, used to play for the Hamilton Red Wings many years ago.
And his grandfather, Gus, played in the NHL with the Detroit Red Wings.
Back in 1916 or 1918, back in the First World War days, Gus was a Red Wing.
He was traded here early last season from Ottawa.
And Giesebrecht is one of the top penalty killers. In fact, the top penalty killer for the Kingston Frontenacs. They want him out there for a big part of this 4:47 left in the penalty.
5:44 left in the second period, a 4-2 hockey game. Kingston leading Ottawa, but big-time opportunity here for the 67's. The big guns are out there. Greg Walters back to Lado. There's a shot. That's blocked. They will try to feed Lado back at the point. Ambrosiak jabbing at it. Klochowski's up there, number 24. Off the boards. Here's Snell. Shoots. That hits a skate. And comes out. Lado, checked by McKillop. And a penalty coming up. And it is going to go against Yanni Lado. And a great effort by Bobby McKillop, number 6, to force Lado into taking that penalty.
The key for the Frontenacs is aggressive play, and that directly related to that penalty. Yanni Lado was having a rough night tonight defensively. He was beat by Yob on that beautiful between-the-legs pass a little while ago, and right there he got nailed for the hook, I believe, trying to stop McKillop from breaking down the wing and getting a good shot at McGlynn. That really cools out the power play. Great work by McKillop going on. Lado gets a stick and holds on to him, just stretches it a little too far. If he had to let him go a little bit earlier, probably would have got off. And McKillop takes a big hit from another 67.
I actually thought Angus was going to look the other way there, unless McKillop was actually pulled down, and Lado was careful not to do that. 5:11 to play in the second period. The team's at even strength for the next 2 minutes, and then Ottawa will still have a 2-minute and 10-second power play. But they're even right now. Lip try. All the way across to Bodnarchuk with a shot in the skates there of Wade Gibson, who finally gets it out. Out across center comes Ambrosiak in over the blue line. He's hauled down. Bodnarchuk back to play. Mike Bodnarchuk across center, hits the line, shoots. Just a rocket of a wrist shot. He's got a very heavy shot, and Peter McGlynn felt that. Ambrosiak in deep, knocked off his stick by Kavanaugh. Wade Gibson standing up. In over the blue line, nobody there to get it. Kavanaugh to Bodnarchuk. Looking for Nelson, who's cutting for the net. Bodnarchuk shoots it from his knees, and he fired that rocket high and wide. Schneider at the line. Gibson down in the corner. He stopped up, and just ducking out of the way was Tony Yobber. He would have been level. Liptrot in back of his own goal. 4-2, Kingston leading, 3:45 to play, second period. Morrison up after 2:15, bumps his man. Binney has the puck stolen. This is Yob going for the slot, drops it off there. Morrison now to Schneider. Misfired that one, Snell in the corner. Morrison knocks him down. Morrison gets the loose puck. Trying to center it. There's Yob with a shot. McGlynn, a sparkling stop as he came sliding across. Here comes Snell. Ottawa back in the power play now for the next 2 minutes and 12 seconds. Lado in deep. Taken out of the play. Morrison now with it for Kingston. Can't get it out. Hands it to Lado. Shoots. Scores! Yanni Lado, there's that shot.
Yanni Lado takes the shot. It went off somebody's stick. I think it might have been Jared DeFazios. Larry Mavity doesn't like it, but a bad clearing attempt by Justin Morrison. He had all sorts of time. He was killing the penalty. Lado cranks it up, It may well have gone off a Kingston Frontenac player. To get another look at that, trying to determine exactly whose stick it went off. Very tough to tell from that angle.
I thought it might have gone in clean. Nope,
No,
right
one
there.
The goal,
Unassisted at 17:05, Lato gets it.
which would suggest if there's not going to be a change, then it went off the Kingston defenseman's stick. But again, a bad clearing attempt by Justin Morrison, who had done a great job with Tony Yob of penalty killing up to that point.
And because it was a 5-minute penalty, Ottawa remains in the power play. They still have 1:56 to go in the man advantage. They trail now 4-3 with 2:53 to go in the second period. And doesn't that kind of put things in a bit of a different light at this stage? That's Lato's 17th. And it comes on the power play. And he has scored 11 of his 17 goals on the man advantage. Here comes Greg Walters. Lato back to get it at center for Ottawa. 1:40 to go in the man advantage. 2:35 to play second period. Ottawa trailing Kingston 4-3.
Paul, in the remainder of this power play, watch how aggressive Kingston is in penalty killing. They will try and force right down behind the net. They do not want to let the Ottawa 67's get started.
Off at center. Here comes Simon. He's got one goal. Picking it up is Klachowski. Backhand shot. That's blocked. Loose puck. Simon in after it, and the net coming off the pegs. See where they put the face-off.
Greg Walters went crashing in, knocking it off the pegs. I would suspect it's going to come outside. Nope. Of course, keeping my record intact for being right and wrong. And face-off's going to be the right for Jeff Wilson.
And we've talked about it before, but my, how times have changed. I used to do play-by-play on the radio in the Ontario Hockey League back in the early and mid-'80s. You come in here some nights, there'd be fewer than 1,000 people in the building. Here's Lato, shoots, bounces up, and grabbing it is Jeff Wilson.
Well, the fans are enjoying it, getting some outstanding net minding from Jeff Wilson. Well, I go back a little further than you, being slightly your elder, and back to the... I remember the last really good team the Kingston Canadians had was the year I was covering it, back in 1981 with Bernie Nichols on the team. This Kingston Frontenac team rivals them and is in fact exceeding them for excitement and prepared to pass them in the win column.
Lato shoots, tip, rebound, right in front, and Wilson just down on the ice had it fired underneath him by Jared DeFazio.
Lato's got that big Doug Wilson type shot. He keeps it nice and low, a good save by Wilson. The rebound comes out, and good defensive work to knock down the Ottawa forward.
There we are. Great view from up here. It is one of the best positions to broadcast a game in the Ontario junior hockey circles. Right on top of the play, nice and loud. .46 seconds to go on the power play for Ottawa, but again, they're going to be frustrated in their attempts to get anything going in the Kingston end. 1:35 to play in the second period. Kingston leading 4-3. Vinny wanted to start up, but he forgot the puck. Here comes Chris Snell. Vinny up to forecheck, and he is offside with 24 seconds left in the power play for Ottawa.
Snell did not see Vinny breaking up the middle. Vinny was wide open. The defense was split. All Snell had to do was slide it over. And Snell didn't see him. He fired it in, and Vinny couldn't hold the line.
And let's see how that Oshawa-Peterborough game is going. I am told that the Oshawa Generals continue to lead. Eric Lindros playing pretty well for Oshawa, has a couple of goals. And Ricci has one for Peterborough in the battle of the league superstars. Oshawa leading in the game. And if things remain just as they are, which is anything but a sure bet at this stage, the two clubs remain tied for first place, and that'd be all right with that little guy to see his team tied for first after the night's over.
That looks like Mark Major on his adventure, I guess.
A great toque.
Like one of the McKenzie brothers.
One of the McKenzie brothers. I wasn't going to say anything.
I'm allowed to make jokes like that, by the way.
Yeah, I thought about it. You kind of glared at me, so I thought I'd lean off. Gibson, pass up ahead, goes off the skate of McTamney. 55 seconds to go in the period. The team's at even strength, so Ottawa picks up one power play goal over the course of about a 3-minute man advantage. Schneider. Off the boards and in. Mark Major up there to forecheck. Comes in to give the goalie a bit of a bump. He let up just a little bit, realized what he was doing. That would have been immediate trouble for him. Schneider back there. And icing called on the Ottawa 67's with 22 seconds remaining in the second period. 4-3, the hometown Kingston Frontenacs leading. 1 week from tonight, we will be in Victoriaville to watch the league-leading Victoriaville Tigre with league-leading scorer Stéphane Lebeau and league-leading goaltender Stéphane Fissette.
Yeah, it'd be great to watch Fissette play, the best young goaltender in the world, actually. I saw him play at the World Junior Championships in Finland. There's no one better at this time, and he's the Quebec Nordiques goalie of the future, the not-too-distant future, I would imagine. And
a bit of a Memorial Cup preview for you, perhaps, because you could probably get even money that Victoriaville will carry the Quebec League flag over to the Memorial Cup Championships in May. 15 seconds to go in the second period. Kingston up 4-3, carrying the play in the last part of this period. Morrison up to Jolt Lato against the board. 6 seconds left. Walters takes a look. Only 2 seconds. He just gets it out. And Simon bumping in to Brock Woods just at the buzzer, and everybody comes in. Tony Yob now having a few words at a distance with Chris Simon.
Yob and Morrison are really fired up. Simon comes right up the middle here, is about to take a hit, and he definitely gives better than he takes right there. Simon is 6'3", over 200 pounds. Brock Woods tried to hit him. Simon got the elbow up in his face and just leveled him.
And he took all of that. 4-3 the score after a pair of period shots on goal, 10 apiece. Ottawa out shooting Kingston 24-18 after a pair, but trailing 4-3. Our second intermission is on deck. We head into this final period with Ottawa leading in the shots on goal department, 24-18, but trailing on the scoreboard 4-3.
Well, Paul, only 3 occasions this year when Kingston has lost with a lead going into the third period. The big Ottawa line of Sagan, Kuwabara, and Simon will try and reverse that right now.
Teams start the period at even strength. Here's McKillop. Lots of room. Shooting. Rebound. Major charging in like a bull, but he couldn't get to it. John East clears it out. Away comes Ryan Kuwabara. Hits the line. He is tripped up on the play. And that is going to be Matt Schneider heading on.
Kingston doesn't like that at all. It looked like a very innocent play. Larry Mavety just running down the Kingston bench, giving it to the referee, Angus. It looked like one of those plays where a stick just went under somebody's skate and he tripped over it. But Angus saw it as a penalty. The Kingston Frontenacs are not the least bit happy about it.
Well, slashing is in fact the call on Schneider.
A great scoring opportunity here. A big shot. Watch Snell. Big size disadvantage, but he gets enough of his stick on Major to prevent Major from putting it in the empty net. McGlynn was way out to cut down the angle.
Had he scored, that would have been a major blow against Ottawa comeback hopes. Did you say that?
I think it was a major disappointment.
So Ottawa with a chance in the power play to tie this game. Walters along the boards, comes out, shoots. You can hear that one ping just wide. Ottawa 1 for 4 on the man advantage so far in this game. Snell shoots. Didn't even get through. Lato to Walters. Back to Lato off his skate. McKillop turned it up a notch, but Snell got there first. 1:18 to go in the power play. McKillop steals it. What a great shift he's had. Now he'll come in 1 against 2, and he is pushed off the puck, but still he ate up all kinds of time.
Some brutal puck handling by the Ottawa 67's. They just can't seem to make 2 consecutive passes. And that's very unusual for them. We've been talking all night. about how skilled they are with the puck.
There's Shayak with a shot. And McGlynn had to go a long way to get the leg on that. Snell to Binney. Bursts through. Centers it. To Ibarra. To Snell. To Lato. Shoots. Scores. Yanni Lato doing what he does well.
Lato cranked it from the point, but I believe Brett Seguin tipped it at the side of the net. Seguin was positioned perfectly with no Kingston defender anywhere near him. Big hard shot from Lato, but watch the side of the net. Snell moves it over, but look down at the corner of the net. Look at Seguin all by himself. And there's the deflection past Wilson. Good eye-hand coordination by Brett Seguin to tip one by. I'm almost positive that Seguin got that. There may be a change on that.
We'll see what the official announcement is. And Seguin gets credit for it. Lato pumped it in from the blue line. But Lato has those great shots that are what, maybe 2 inches off the ice, going about 100 miles an hour. Just perfect level for a deflection. A tie hockey game, 4-4 to start this third period. We've played 2 minutes and Ottawa has tied it up. Clean the slate off. It's a new game. East, moving it out. Poirier across center. Binney going for the net. Poirier shoots all the way up around the boards and back up to center for John East. Poirier. Rockwood shoots it up around the boards. Here comes Morrison. Morrison likes that move. He likes to come in over the blue line and spin around, sort of a spinorama, and then knife it across to the slot. Nobody was there that time. Brock Woods at his own blue line. To Kavanaugh. McTamney watching him. Here comes Bodnarchuk wheeling back. Here's that one-handed pass right in front of the net. Just knocked wide. Shayak at the blue line against Ambrosiak. Now Klachowski. Pass a little bit too far for Greg Walters. He will move in after it. With the puck cleared up by Peter Liptrot. The official on that goal, by the way, Seguin from Snell and Lato on the power play. 4-4 hockey game.
Ryan Kilrea's very unhappy. He had to go into tonight's hockey game without Hard Rock defenseman Jeff Riccardi. This is the time when he'd like to have Riccardi out on the ice. A 4-4 tie, a big, strong guy that can keep the net clear. Ryan Kilrea knows that Riccardi would play if he wanted to. In fact, Riccardi wanted to get away from the doctor's advice and play.
And Tony Yob, who has been a big shooter for Kingston in this game, limping just a little bit, and hopefully nothing serious.
Well, he's had a great game tonight. Yob and Morrison have really been the story for the Kingston forwards.
16:51 to play, third period. 4-4. CHL Sunday night with a couple of late division contenders, both battling for first place. Walters back of the net, centers it. Ambrosiak, number 12, is waiting for it. Out come the Frontenacs. Shayak gets the line. Doucette now. Klachowski, cross ice for Ambrosiak. Takes the hit, but gets it in. Bodnarchuk. Doucette gets back in the net a little bit too late. Peter McGlynn, the Ottawa goalie, moving it up around the boards, and it's lifted out down the ice by Smith. Clancy up there, bumping his man. Smith up, number 15, just over skates it, and the Frontenacs again come back. Bodnarchuk across center. And Smith mugs him. Schneider. In his own end, Clancy in there looking for the loose puck. Giesebrecht, number 8, peels away, shoots, and way up, and that'll clear a couple of rows up behind the Ottawa net.
Fans have been very busy making signs, welcoming us to this great city.
Mark Major, and roughing it up in this game, going for the net. Looking for a goal.
Played for the Don Mills Flyers as a midget. Started his career in junior hockey with the North Bay Centennials. Came over here in a trade a year ago.
Here's John East. Up to Simon. Simon now brings it in. Shoots. Rebound. Kavanaugh trying to get it out. Giesebrecht pass up to Major. To McKillop. He was trying to take off, and East just got his stick on it. Woods comes in now. Simon bumps in from behind. Giesebrecht, number 8, in there for Kingston. Trying to get it loose. McKillop out for the board, shooting. That hit Major, and he drops like a $1.50 suitcase, and he will lift his way over towards the bench. Yob. Couldn't get in. Snell up across center. Hits the line. Still with it. Wilson trying to play it away. McKillop to the center. Checks. Woods. Snell back there to get it for Ottawa. 14:25 to play, third period. A 4-4 hockey game. Kuwabara across to Simon. They're just going to whack it away. Ottawa making some changes. 14:10 to play, third period. Tie hockey game. Here comes Allen. Across center for Kingston. Big rebound. And nobody there to get it. Shayak. Lifts it around the boards. McGlynn will tee it up in back of his own net there. Out comes Poirier across center. McTamney and Binney up to forecheck. Neither can get there. Morrison. Gets it across. Yob, top of the slot, still with it. Knocked down by Lado. Lado and Yob have had a great battle going all night. Allen moving up. Squeezed along the boards by McTamney. Binney picks it up and dumps the puck out.
Well, Paul, Yanni Lado didn't want to get burned by Yob there, so he made sure it took him right out into the boards.
They've gone at it in the corners a few times tonight. Just a great matchup. Here's Klachowski through center, at his pocket, picked by Bodnarchuk. He moves in, tried to dish it off to Nelson, and lost it. Klachowski back for Ottawa. Bodnarchuk rides him into the boards. Stewart can't get it out. East, weak shot. Wilson guides that one away. Stewart another whack at it. It hops past John East this time and down the ice. McGlynn leaving it there for East. He falls down. Doucette trying to get it loose. He had Nelson in front, but East, realizing immediately that he was out of position, just dropped down. The pressure was on, and John East didn't want to be the guy to cop it up. 4-4, 12:38 to go. I'm Paul Romanuk with Bob McKenzie. A little CHL Sunday night on TSN. Great to have you with us.
Just another great game, Paul.
We've had a few blowouts early in the year, but they've gotten tighter as the season has tightened down. Off the face-off. Doucette right in front, shooting. Just lifted it wide. Back along the board, Schneider. There's a shot. That stopped. Rebound. Cleared over to the corner. Kuwabara gets it ahead. Here come the 67. Simon in over the blue line. Shoots. Low and wide. Crazy bounce off those boards. Doucette. Cross ice to Bodnarchuk. He's got a big shot. There it is. He ripped it. Had a bead on the short side. Just missed, and McGlynn may have popped a hamstring. He fired out the left leg after that puck, and he is in pain.
He either took the puck off the side of his knee, or as you say, Paul, pulled a muscle quite severely here. A big shot from Bodnarchuk, the offensive star. That one just went by, and you're right, Paul, that's a pulled muscle. Possibly a groin, possibly a pulled hamstring, but it does not look good right now.
Right up on the meat of the leg, just in behind the quadricep. Looks like that's where he pulled it, the way he stretched out and the way he grabbed at it. And getting ready is George Dorian, the backup goalie.
You know, I'm sure that Peter McGlynn does not want to have to come out here because he's playing before his hometown crowd. But if he does, George Dorian will be coming in. And from Beirut, Lebanon. Now, George saw me before the game, and he says, hey, listen, no Beirut jokes tonight, because the first night we did Ottawa back against Hamilton early in January, we made mention of the fact he was indeed from Beirut. McGlynn looks like he may be able to continue here. Trainer's asked him, and he's waving, shaking it off. And watch Bodnerchuk come in. Bramalea, Ontario native, just cranks it. Good toe save.
And just stay with and watch. And we lose the goaltender there, but you saw McGlynn just kind of roll over and grab the back of his leg. Looks like he might be okay. Unlike this guy who has no hope of ever being okay.
No, not at all. Well, he got rid of the roller skates. He had the roller skates earlier and did a little tumble down by where the Zamboni entrance is. He hit the grating and went head first. He follows the team around. He'll provide all sorts of annex for them throughout the Ontario League. A big supporter.
Back to the line. Woods fires it in, eye high, and it's grabbed and held by Peter McGlynn. 12:05 to play in the third period. A 4-4 hockey game. It's just been nip and tuck, back and forth. Kingston was up by a pair of goals. Ottawa chipping its way back to tie the score early in this third period on the power play.
Peter McGlynn's one of 3 Kingston natives on this Ottawa team. The other ones being Wade Gibson and Greg Clancy. And I know they want to have a really big game. Former Kingston Junior B players back here in front of the hometown fans.
Kingston out shooting Ottawa 6-3 so far in this third period. Lato checked in the corner. McGillip in front. Wood shoots. A rocket just wide. Here's Major trying to jam it in. It's still loose. Vinny clears it. And Poirier will come out. Too close for comfort for Peter McGlynn. And they're starting to hammer it around. Major moving in, shooting. Up around the boards. Vinny back. He will jolt his man. Here comes Chris Snell away for Ottawa. Hits the line, waiting, shoots. Just floated that one wide. John East back in his own end to get it.
They're going end now, Paul. 11-12 left. They want to try and break this tie.
Yob at the blue line, trying to keep it in. Shayak back in his own end, number 17 for the Frontenacs. Morrison up the middle. Doesn't go to him. Goes to the wing instead for Yob. It's knocked away. Liptrot back in his own zone. Clancy parked in front of the net watching him. Shayak to Morrison. Got Yob breaking on the left side. Morrison comes in, and Yob is offside over on the left wing. 10:32 to play in the third period, and Ottawa has battled its way back quite well. Another one of those 3D right into your living room shots. Damn, you just got that new picture tube too, didn't you?
Just shattered my glasses.
10:32 to go. 4-4 in this third period. Try to get another score from Oshawa for you. Oshawa Generals tied with Kingston for first place in the Leyden Division coming into this game. Walters across center. In over the line. Here comes Ambrosiak in front. Kuchelski, a shot just wide. Everybody was where they should have been, but the puck just didn't end up in. Nice three-way passing play. Icing called on Kingston, and the fans wanted a penalty called on Ottawa.
Mike Bodnerchuk's not happy, and I know Larry Mavity's not either.
Mavity at the gate, letting referee Blaine Angus have it with both barrels.
Mavity, you can't see him there, but he's got a blue towel in his hand. I don't know whether that's a new sign of surrender or whatever. Actually pitched the towel down a moment ago. Very unhappy. Mike Bodnerchuk was tripped up.
You could see him go down to talk to his assistant coach, and he just kind of struggling. Oh, well, what can you do, Mav?
Great opportunity for the 67's. Vinny does a great job freezing up the middle. Pass over from Ambrosiak, and there's the shot, but doesn't connect. Just wide. As you said, Paul, everything done perfectly except for the finish on it.
10 minutes remaining in the third period. A 4-4 hockey game on CHL Sunday night. Both these teams right in the thick of things in the battle for first place in the Leighton division of the OHL. And right in the thick of this game. Snell in back of his own net for Ottawa. Up around the boards. Stewart just stepped out of the way of a hit. Greg Walters had him lined up. Puck going up over the glass, and a little yapping down in front of Ottawa goaltender Peter McGlynn.
You wouldn't think at this point anything's really going to erupt. 9:40 left, scores 4-4. I think it's at the point where we're now starting to say that overtime's a possibility, and the netminders are the guys that are now going to have to come up big. Wilson for the Frontenacs and McGlynn for the Ottawa 67's.
And the comfortable thing, if you were the coach of either of these teams to know, is that both of these goalies have come up big time and time again this year. This isn't a new situation at all for them.
The biggest quality of both guys is consistency. Both coaches mentioned that before the game. They can really count on them when they really need them.
Simon across center. McKillop intercepting for Kingston. Kavanaugh with some room. McKillop is trailing. Kavanaugh stops right in front for McKillop. The pass a little bit high. Back to the line. Woods shoots. Lato blocks it. Puck with a crazy bounce. It's finally cleared. Brock Woods back to get it off the boards. Lato for Ottawa. Sagan had hopped over his stick. McKillop. Up ahead. Giesebrecht couldn't quite handle it. Major knocks it down to McKillop. To Major. In on goal. It's cleared. Here's Liptrot back at the point. Trying to get it in. Knocked down. Here's Yanni Lato. Nice pass. A little bit too heavy for Simon. He couldn't handle it. Giesebrecht. Right up the middle. Nobody there. Looked like a set play that went wrong. Nobody was cutting towards the middle. 8:30 to play. Third period. 4-4. Here's Morrison. To Yav. He's made things happen in this game. In the corner, Yav trying to get loose. Being watched by Snell. Snell with it now. Out ahead to Poirier. To Binney. Shayak now for Kingston. 8:05 to play. Third period. A 4-4 hockey game. No icing. It's waved off here. Chris Snell back to pick it up for the 67's. McTamney up to Binney. In over the blue line. To Poirier. In deep. Binney goes to the net. There's the pass, and Binney was tied up. Allen coming back. In over the blue line. Across to Morrison. To Yav. Just off his stick. Stewart up to the blue line. Almost kept it in. Nice try by Dave Stewart. The puck was going up over his head, and he knocked it down and almost kept it in. Game. 7:39 to play in the third period. And what a great race between 5 teams in the Leighton division of the OHL. Heading into this game, Kingston tied for first place with Oshawa, who is playing Peterborough. We'll try to get a score for you. And Kingston make that Ottawa 2 points back of those 2 clubs. Last time these 2 teams played, they finished in a 7-7 tie. Clancy is rough, but here comes Smith. Shoots. And Smith going by, taking a poke at the rebound, and Jeff Wilson is hot. The goaltender turned around and took a look at him, and everybody piles up close to the boards.
Wilson bobbled the puck, and as Smith took a shot and went by, he took a swing at it. Frontenacs took exception to that. That was a play made possible. Dave Stewart, the defenseman for the Kingston Frontenacs, got very aggressive, came up and pinched, made a big stab at center ice.
Before that, just a great hit at center ice. Just shook the fillings in the teeth of, I think it was Greg Clancy.
Stewart just labels him, but he's caught himself out of position here, and Smith takes advantage of it. You'll see Stewart chasing the man with the puck. Watch the bobble here, still loose. Aggressive play by Garen Smith. They took exception to that.
And
Schneider.
Yeah. Schneider saying, oh no you don't. Not this late in the game, Bob.
You know, Paul, in this rink, the pressure is really on the defenseman because this rink is not what you would call a standard size. It's 92 feet wide instead of 85 feet wide, so it's 7 feet wider than a standard rink. In fact, it's just 8 feet short of being an international size arena. So there's a lot of room to move out there, and it really makes it a nightmare for the defenseman, especially trying to turn and catch these speedy wingers coming down the sides.
Offsetting penalties to Schneider of Kingston and Smith of Ottawa, roughing at 12:46. Bodnerchuk gets it across. They play 4-on-4. Kavanaugh shooting. Just wide. Greg Walters starting back in the 67th across center. Puck bouncing on him, so he has trouble negotiating his way around Brock Woods. Bodnerchuk to Woods. And John East just playing the man. He was staring right at the crest, making sure Woods was going nowhere. Walters comes in. Ambrosiak up to join him, going for the net, right in front of the net. Ambrosiak tipped it. Not enough. McGlynn gives it away right in front. McKillop a shot, and McGlynn has to save himself there.
Great recovery by McGlynn. He mishandled the puck, gave it away, but managed to get a stick back on the ice and make the big save.
And he was his own worst enemy there. Snell in over the blue line for Ottawa. Across to Lado. Shot right on goal, kicked away by Wilson. Lado has set up 2 goals in this game with that shot of his. Seguin shooting. Wilson just got a piece of it off the shoulder. Seguin bumping in along the boards with Shayak. Here comes McKillop. And the pass over 2 lines offside with 5:41 to play now in the 3rd period. A tie hockey game, couple of big game savers by Jeff Wilson. Peter McGlynn pretty sharp at the other end.
Wilson made a great save on Seguin, taking a shot right off the shoulder, steering it wide of the net. The puck goes in front. That was an earlier play. Ambrosiak had a great opportunity, but he was stood up. Here's the one where McGlynn mishandled the puck. Watch the puck lay loose here as he comes around, and he gets that big goaltending stick down. Locks off the path to the net.
McKillop with a great chance, and the goal stick getting in the way. Peter McGlynn, though, was rather careless handling the puck in his own end, and he was his own worst enemy on that occasion, setting up the scoring chance, basically, for Kingston.
He giveth and he taketh, Paul.
4-4, 5:41 left. Both teams playing 4-on-4. Kingston tied for first place in the Leyden division of the OHL heading into this game. Ottawa only 2 points back of them. John East back in his own end. Up to Gibson. Shayak moves up. He's crunched by John East. Trying to work it loose. Similero is pinned in there. Comes with 5:16 to go and a face-off coming down in Ottawa territory. Be sure to listen up at the conclusion of the game for our TSN Turning Point. No turkeys here. Great game.
Oh, tremendous game. 5:16 left, and the penalties are expiring right now.
In back of the net, here's Morrison, centered it, but Lado is there to cut off the pass for Ottawa. Snell up ahead. Ambrosiak in there after it. Smith is in front. There's the pass, and there's Smith, and he couldn't hook up with it. Sharp angle shot dumped wide by Walters. Lado takes the hit. Jamie Allen right up on top of him. Greg Walters coming back for Ottawa. In over the line. Ambrosiak, number 12, overskates it. Here's Jamie Allen back for Kingston. Long shot. And McGlynn kicks it up over the glass. 4:28 left. 4-4 hockey game.
Well, Paul, I think with 4:28 left, we can safely say overtime looms large. Jeff Wilson seems to be shaking off a bit of an injury. Ambrosiak came down the wing, flipped it out in front. Wilson went down to save it, and looked like the stick came up right between his legs, and that one looked like it hurt.
How about all you can do is shake that off. Puck up along the boards. Kuwabera couldn't get it out. Shayak in deep, centers it right in front of the net and hopped over McKillop's stick. Shayak shoots, tipped, just over top. Major right through the goal crease, number 88 back in the net. Giesebrecht is in there too, and it's cleared. Icing called on Ottawa.
Well, Paul, you'll see a lot more of that now. Both teams, neither of them wants to get burned.
Kingston with a 4-game winning streak on the line, and more importantly, a share of first place.
Shayak cranks one from the point. Watch Major, there's a deflection going up top, but you'll see Major parked right on the doorstep, and that'll be his job in the closing minutes, is to stand there and screen McGlynn and create all sorts of havoc for the Ottawa 67's.
3:55 to go. Maybe overtime. Lado dishes off back of his own net. Major, McKillop shoots, that's blocked by Lado. McKillop still with it, centers it across in front of the net, and Giesebrecht was tied up. Woods back in his own end. Vidiana thumps him into the boards. McKillop out across center. He's had a great third period. Comes in now. McKillop in front of the goal, shooting. Great stop by McGlynn. That saved it. Here it is in front again. Back to the line. Woods shoots. That's knocked wide. Tremendous opportunities for Kingston. And Ottawa will come back now. Cleared in from center. Woods back there to pick it up. 3:10 left. Nelson to Bodmerchuk. Hits the line. John East played him carefully. And that just bounced out. Mike Cavanaugh charging up, tried to keep it in.
Tremendous individual effort by Bob McKillop. Came right down the right-hand side. And we've seen so many good stick handling plays. Watch him, he's got this, it's like the puck is right on a string, puts it right between Lado, gets beat again. Lado is playing the puck far too much tonight, and it took a great save by McGlynn to prevent the winning goal from being scored there.
Another sellout here at the Kingston Memorial Centre, and they're seeing a great one. 3 minutes to go, 4-4 hockey game. Back in his own end, Wade Gibson. Puck stolen. Woods cutting in front of the net, great chance. Nelson, great work down there too. Here comes Walters, out across center, in over the blue line, and Klachowski gets his signals crossed up, and Ottawa caught in the offside. And Ottawa, down on their own end, the last few minutes look as though they're handling a grenade when they have that puck.
They're not handling the puck well at all tonight, and they're losing a lot of the battles in their own end. Ottawa's defense is not nearly as big as the Kingston forwards, and you have a look, a guy like Walters is good in the other end, but defensively, Lado and Snell are not big defensemen. They've got big Major and McKillop and Yob down there. Big, strong guys, and they're having a tough time coping with them.
Kingston out shooting Ottawa 10-7 in this third period for what it's worth. Ottawa out shooting Kingston in the first pair of periods, but we're trailing on the scoreboard, so do with that what you may. 2:36 left, 4-4 hockey game. Snell gets it up. Not for long. Bodmerchuk comes back. Starts in. He's got Doucette with him. Here's Doucette now. Into the slot. Trying to work it through. Doucette with it. There's a shot. Score! The Deuce is loose with maybe his biggest goal of the year.
Doucette took the shot. It looked like again it was deflected. Watch the path of the puck. It might have been deflected by number 14. Nope, directly in, right over the shoulder of Peter McGlynn. There's a bird's eye view from behind. Looks like it went off the defenseman, Lado. Just a great reaction from the Kingston Frontenacs.
Still to play. 5-4. Kingston on top of Ottawa. That man right there with the winning goal as we stand. But Ottawa has answered the challenge every time so far tonight. They have 2:19 left. 17:41. Doucette picking up the goal, and Bondarchuk picking up the assist. Morrison along the boards. Lado knocks it down. Kept in at the line by Allen. Flicks it in off the boards. Yaw moving in back of the net, turns off now for Snell for Ottawa. 1:55 left. Kingston up 5-4, and they come right at the 67's. Yaw taking his man out. Snell trying to get the puck out. Allen checks him. Great effort by Kingston. In the dying moments of the game, 1:36 to go. Lead pass for Troy Binney almost clipped. Ottawa heading up. Goaltender is still in the net. Allen comes out to center and clears it down in for Kingston. 1 minute and 20 seconds to go. 5-4. Kingston leading the Ottawa 67's. Morrison up there. Forechecking number 15 for Kingston. Lado up around the boards for Ottawa out to center. Woods shooting it back in.
Frontenacs are all over the ball. They're shutting them right down, forcing them hard.
1 minute to go. Here comes Greg Walters in over the blue line. Weak shot, rolls through the slot. Klachowski, number 24, after it along the boards. The big gunners out there for Ottawa. They pulled the goaltender and they had the extra attacker out. Here's Walters shooting. Loose puck in front. Knocked down. Giesebrecht to McKillop. Open net. Scores.
McKillop buries it, nices the game. Watch Larry Mavity. All right. The Mav loves it. That makes up for the one McKillop lost, and boy, is he a happy guy right now. His 27th goal of the season.
Seconds left. And it is justice that McKillop gets a goal because he has played a fantastic third period. 30 seconds to go. What a great hockey game. And what a great effort by Kingston. Here comes John Nelson. Top of the slot, dumps it off. Doucette drifts one wide. 13 seconds left. Nelson, yeoman service along the boards, gets it back. And Schneider snaps one up over the glass. 6 seconds to go.
Well, Paul, the fans are chanting, we're number one. And right now, until we get the outcome of that Peterborough-Oshawa game, they most certainly are first place in the Leyden division. You know, Paul, it was very interesting to watch who Brian Kilray had out at the end of the game. He did not have his top players. He did not have Brett Sagan. He did not have Ryan Koulibaly. He did not have Chris Simon, his top line out. He's obviously displeased with them today. He had Troy Binney's line out.
Out-of-town scoreboard, and right on cue, this final score comes in. Oshawa defeating Peterborough 5-4. So what a race in